Hey guys, Mr. Kyle Myers Mathematics, and today we are taking a break from a series on Algebra 1 worksheets to talk about something, just kind of a quick something here. And it's what do people who are good at math have in common? What do they have the most in common? And I did some research on this a while back, and I never really did anything with it because I just didn't feel like I had enough data yet. But I had quite a bit of data points. I don't remember the exact number, but all the people that I knew that were either other math teachers or just people in tech industries, heavy in the hard sciences, physics, chemistry, things like that, and anything in that realm, engineers, anybody that's math heavy industry. So I was talking to several of these people, friends, colleagues, etc., and there's a lot of variation. So ultimately, what I'm going to tell you is the number one thing that they all had in common. But I will, before I tell you what they all had in common, there was a lot of variation. So bottom line, you can be good at anything you put your mind to if you put in the work and you work smart. I think sometimes I say like working smarter, not harder. Like, have you ever heard of that? It's I don't know if I would say not to work hard, but I would just work smarter. Do things smarter, not necessarily, let off the gas, but just be smart about how you go about acquiring new knowledge. But anyways, so there's a lot of variability. Several different people were into the arts growing up. You know, just different right brain kind of things. So that was like a kind of a surprising one. Um, Plenty of people exercised in different ways growing up. Were involved in either just lots of casual bicycling every day kind of thing, all the way to like getting certain belts in martial arts and things like that. A lot of variability, but number one thing that everybody had in common was actually video games. And I know that's kind of weird, but it got me. It made me think of it because I actually just got a new one myself a couple days ago, and I've been playing the crap out of it. And I was thinking like, wow, there's a lot of things that I have to do in this game that require me to think very logically and try to figure out how to move forward. And I was like, wow, I did a lot of that growing up too. I played a lot of the same series of games growing up. So it doesn't have to be a particular video game. This is not a paid promotion here. But certain games are going to be better than others. There's some video games that are just kind of eh. Their focus is not in, let's say, like figuring out puzzles. So the main key to the types of video games is games that have puzzles in them. And not board game puzzles or things like that. Just things that you have to solve. Things that you have to solve to get to the next place or to unlock something or get a reward of some kind, whatever. And there's a lot of different games like this. There's one game in particular that is the best at this, and that's the game that I played growing up. But there's other games too. So I'll give some honorable mentions here. Um, some games like I'm looking at a article here. Um, a lot of Nintendo games actually. I mean, Nintendo's really good at puzzle games. I mean, like the Mario games, the main ones, not Mario Kart and stuff like that. But like Mario World or Super Mario, you had to figure things out. There were lots of puzzles. You had to figure out what to do to unlock new things, get to new areas. Um, Metroid, that's another one I've never like played it. I've never owned it, but that's one that people say has a lot of puzzles in it. Um, what else? I'm looking at this article here. Portal apparently, or The Witness. And I don't know. I've never played some of these games, so if these are like rated R or whatever, like viewer warning if you're gonna look into some of these. Um, Portal, The Witness are mentioned. Um, what else? Let's see. God of War, Half-Life, Deus Ex, Batman: Arkham Asylum. I've been meaning to look into that one. It looks I've never played it. I don't know why. It looks really good. Um, oh, what was the other one that they mentioned? Oh, Skyrim. Has a few things. It's not a huge. It's mostly Skyrim is just completing the quests and things like that. There's not really a whole lot of puzzles in that. That's not a good example. Um, some of the earlier versions of games have more logic puzzles in them, like Resident Evil. Some of the earlier games had more. They kind of did away with more of that, I guess, in later games, according to this article that I'm looking at here. But okay, so the number one thing. So I gave you a bunch of honorable mentions there. Pretty much any Nintendo game, unless it's like a Wii Sports or something, like a main series game. Um, but the number one game, which is Nintendo, is The Legend of Zelda, which I whenever I say it, it makes sense to me. But people who have never heard of that before, they're like, "Wait, who's Zelda?" Because you don't play as Zelda. Typically, you in like 95% of the games, you play as a character named Link. But it's called The Legend of Zelda because Zelda is one of the main characters in the game. And if you don't know about it, I won't get too much into it. But basically, it is the number one puzzle game. I don't think there are any games out there that beat that game. It is the ultimate puzzle game. I mean, it hits all the things. So the takeaway here is that if you want to be good at math, you can do that in a lot of different ways. You want to work smart. But certain people that tend to have a proclivity to be good at math do engage in things like puzzle based video games like The Legend of Zelda more often. And that might be one of the keys to getting better at math in a way that doesn't seem boring. Maybe you don't like math. Maybe, you're trying to look for some sort of secret formula. I think that could be part of the secret sauce. If you're trying to do better at math, you're trying to get better at math, maybe look into some stuff like that. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna look at some different video games that are puzzle based, always look at what the ratings are and stuff like that. I feel like I have to say that because I'm a dad, but I would recommend it. The Legend of Zelda, especially, has always done a really good job at making very challenging puzzles. You really have to scratch your brain on some of the things that you have to solve. And it makes you think with that left part of your brain over here, um, which is that logic based side, which helps you to do math better. So I would recommend it. That is my short video for today. If you know of any good puzzle games, throw a comment below and tell me what your favorite puzzle game is. I would love to hear from you and see which one you like because actually I might, I might go grab it. I might go get it because I really like puzzle games and I think The Legend of Zelda is the best. If you disagree with me, let me know. Or if you have some recommendations, I would love to hear those. But if you want some more math content, like you want to know more about how to do better in your math class, you can check out my website, myersmathematics.com. It's got a ton of free resources on there. The main one being a document, a little PDF called The 5 Math Mistakes Everyone Makes and How to Avoid Them. So you can go check that out. Just a little guide. You can just give it a read through and let me know what you think if you like. And it just helps you to know what kinds of ways that people normally miss math problems and what you can do to stop doing those things. Like, for instance, when you miss a negative, right? That's like the number one thing that people miss is those negative signs, those pesky little negatives. So go check that out if you're interested in some extra free resources, or you can check out the other videos on this channel. And if you would like some tutoring, I do private tutoring at the time of this video at least. I don't know, maybe 10, 20, 30 years down the road. I won't do as much of it anymore, but um, as of 2022, I do a lot of private tutoring. One of the best math tutors in Tampa, but I do mostly online. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email. My email is in the description below, and I will catch you guys in another video real soon.